This first one's entitled, I Refuse to Have a Battle of Wits with an Unarmed General. Welcome to our surreal lives. We are a televised hypocrisy facing the disintegrating fourth wall to bring out the technicolor shades of our belief in a politically correct anarchy. Because our biggest problems deal with how scripted Pimp My Ride has become, and the continuity of the latest Family Guy episode. And our first revolution, our first banding together for a greater good was to get the original Facebook back. What the fuck, people? I mean, screw healthcare. Forget about the comprehensive treatment for the next guy that tries to stop a chainsaw with his penis. Ignore Social Security. Goodness knows our kids want us in their basements paying some 300-pound dyke nurse to change our soil depends as we vomit up stories of, when I was your age, Pluto was a planet. Let's give everybody unemployment so we can all be the stagnant, lazy, arrogant Americans the rest of the world believes us to be. Keep the blood flowing for the stolen oil running through our veins that seeps through our pores, soaking our child labor sewn polo shirts and staining the bucket seats of our H2s. Because we all deserve to look like giant pricks sitting behind the wheel of a domestic military vehicle as we drive to Walmart. Because we still define ourselves by gender, race, religious affiliation, and sexual preference. Because we've drawn too many lines in the sand and high tide is coming. And when our democracy starts to bleed red and yellow stars, we should just reinstate the communists as a major political party. Because if everybody buys a copy of the Communist Manifesto, Big Brother can't track them all. So just start tuning out every Hail to the Chief, play for that sped kid turned global playground bully / dictator, sitting in the leather chair of a forgotten democracy's Oval Office. And in honor of my favorite bumper sticker, will someone please give Bush a blowjob so we can impeach him? Because it's been at least a year since our second-term elected president has had a popularity rating of over 45%. And I'm tired of hearing that there are still people out there that want to give Bush a third term in office when he shouldn't have had a first. Because all we're getting is 8 years of grammatically incorrect he said, she said bullshit, where every child is being left behind by this guy who has his answers and speeches written for him. And it just pisses me off that some 4-star general tries to tell me, some little 19-year-old college-educated New York Times reading angry half-lesbian, that my logic is flawed, when all I did was ask him a question. When all I did was cause the voice of justified violence to stumble over half-truths. Because all I wanted to know is if we were playing a bad game of Risk, and if we were using democracy as a fear tactic here and there. But it has to be our better way of life through war. And the things he kept saying just made me think that that self-confessed, draft-dodging 1960s ROTC college recruit wanted to see another Vietnam. And I wouldn't stand to applaud him. Because I just want to be the voice of true revolution. I want to anger you into action. I want to inspire you to movement. Let me be the Alice Paul, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., John Lennon of our marches for ending war. Let me teach you how to scream for social justice. Let them know that we can do more than smoke up and sit on a couch for 11 hours at a time. We don't have to be the generation where nothing is expected of us, so nothing is given. There is too much going on for us to turn our cheeks toward nihilism. So open up the narrow confines of your personal hard drive and pour in the liquid drain cleaner. Watch as visions of wicked witches and wizards stick their heads in ovens to silence voices of revolution that only they can hear. These men and women touched by a God finally damned within the mental confines of a generation made up of puzzle pieces to an imperfect, ever-lacking, bigger picture. Tell them that the price of our sects of feathered salvation will no longer be paid for in blood and oil. Tell them that we will no longer be the apathetic, nihilistic, static generation they believe us to be and are feeding us to become.